So I had an interesting experience this week about seeing and believing because we had a labyrinth walk this week. I don't know who was at it, but it was amazing. Who was at there? Bob and Ann were there, and we had about 15 people here, and it was amazing. But that morning I came in because Glenn Head told me that, and he does a lot of the shampooing around here. He told me he said, I think we can wash this labyrinth. He said, it really needs some cleaning. And so he said, we can do it with the upholstery cleaner. And I said, okay. And I go, do you want to do that? And he goes, yeah, I'll do it. I said, well, maybe we should wait till it's over. No, let's do it before it'll dry, blah, blah, blah. So on Tuesday morning, I came in and I turned the lights on. I looked at the labyrinth and it was like, wow, he did such a great job. I mean, it looks amazing. And then I called Patrick and I'm like, Glenn did this great job in the labyrinth. All the spots are gone, blah, 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 blah. So I text Glenn and he goes, Rita, he said, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I said, but it looked beautiful. And he goes, well, I don't know. He says, I didn't do it. And then I thought, well, I know Ron Stover didn't do it, so I guess nobody did it. And I just saw it as clean. And I just think that is like the most perfect example. And it never did quite look as dirty as it did after that. So, yeah, so I believe that he had done it. I mean, it's just this perfect example of what we're talking about here. And, I mean, who knows? Maybe I jumped multiverses and was in a universe where the labyrinth was perfectly clean. Who knows? There's so much mystery to all this, and we have no idea what's really going on. And, I mean, for me, the only thing is to trust and have faith. And it's sometimes, like Patrick was saying, it's hard to look at the world of conditions and have that kind of faith because we're so grounded in the world of conditions that we can't see beyond them sometimes. And I was like doing some research for this talk, and I came across a blog I had written a long time ago about a cat that we had named Kaua'i. She wasn't really our cat, but we were taking care of her for some people, and we were living in their house and taking care of Kaua'i and Kalani. And Kaua'i disappeared, and I was like feeling freaked out because, you're taking care of somebody else's cat, and the cat disappears, right? So I started doing spiritual mind treatment that this cat would come back, and the cat didn't come back. And I just kept treating, even though I just knew that cat was coming back. I don't know how I knew it, I just knew it. You can usually not bring something else back necessarily, but I think with animals it's a little different because the animals are very receptive and open to whatever because they're just kind of like the law, they're just saying yes. But I kept treating, and the point I'm making is I didn't give up on it and just kept knowing that cat was coming back. And one day, about 10 days later, I was standing on the porch doing a treatment, and all of a sudden, there came Kaua'i up the hill, looking stunned, looking like I don't know where she was, but she was back. I don't know, did I pull her out of the ethers? I don't know. But she came back, and everybody else was telling me, don't worry about it. The owner was like, don't worry, she's not coming back, blah, blah, blah. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that a lot of this stuff just takes a tremendous amount of faith and perseverance, and not letting other people tell you what they think that they know about you or about your life or about what you can have or about what you can't have. Because basically, we can't have everything we want unless we're equal to it. And equal means that we have to have a mental equivalent, a spiritual prototype of whatever that is. We have to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that whatever it is we want to manifest is already there. Already there. I heard Wayne Dyer say something. He said, the only way to truly manifest is to give up what your senses are telling you and move into the unseen and to see what you want as already done. That's what we have to do. So we call it the creative process. It's this little beautiful, amazing design up here. Science of Mind 100. Do you see it back there? This is the unseen. This is spirit, right? This is us making our conscious choices. This is our volition. This is our choice. This soil here is the law. This is like planting a seed in the soil of our thought. We don't know, like, what's happening here. We don't know what's making the plant grow. We don't know how it's going to happen. We just trust that when we put something there, when we put an idea out into universal law, whatever you want to call it, that something's going to grow. And that's what we're looking at right now. So when we, like, naysayers come up and go, oh, well, what about this? And what about Ukraine? And what about this? And what about that? And what, this person died, and blah, 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 blah. We have no idea. All I know is that there's thought, and thought moves into matter. That's all I know. Belief, thought by belief. It's the way the whole universe is created, and we have that same exact power to do the same exact thing. We are not automatons, so we have choice. So we get to choose in every single moment, like, how we want to live and how we want to live. We have to make choices. We don't know how it's going to happen, though. And that's what I know. I woke up this morning, and I was so grateful, because I thought, my whole life, I've always been taken care of, no matter what. Not that I haven't gone through some very stressful times or, poverty-stricken times and all this, but I thought, but I've always been taken care of. It's always worked out. That's the kind of faith I'm talking about, that like, you can stay, like last week our theme was be where your feet are. You got to be right where you are right now. Take it in. Say, I'm here, as Ernest Holmes would say, because of who I am right now. But if I want to get over there, I have to trust and see what that is in my mind's eye before I can move there. I can't go there until that's happening. He has a beautiful quote about it. He says, the way to proceed is to begin right where you are. This was the quote I was looking for last week. It is not scientific to attempt to begin somewhere else. One who understands the systematic use of the law will understand that he is where he is because of what he is. That's a thing. You got to accept it. You have full responsibility. You are where you are because of what you are. But you will not say, I must remain where I am because of what I am. Instead, he will begin to disclaim what appears to be. As his statements release wrong subjective tendencies, providing in their place a correct concept of life and reality, he will automatically be lifted out of his condition and will be set free if he trusts in spirit and the working of the law. So to not admit, this is our whole philosophy. It's one of the reasons why it's not very popular. It's about taking responsibility for where we are. Not to blame ourselves or think we're terrible people or, we did something wrong or whatever. But we've made choices, and we're where we are, but we don't have to stay there. That's the whole beauty of it. We have this, like, you were talking about quantum science. Everything is in the field. Everything, but it's pure potential. And as soon as we start to think, that pure potential starts to create particles. We're waves and particles. That's all we are. And nothing is static. Everything is moving. I read something that even when your body dies, your body is still moving. It's still energy. It's still doing its thing, right? So it's just like amazing. Guys, this is amazing stuff. And we have such amazing power that we don't even use. And I know, like, this whole move to the Hongwanji mission, like Patrick said last week, we don't know. We know in our mind's eye, and if you stay for the meeting this afternoon, you'll get all those details. We know what our mind's eye, what we want to create, but we don't totally know how we're going to get there. But we do trust, because like he said, why are we moving? It's because our consciousness is too big to stay here now. CSL Kaua'i, Institute of Magnificence, whatever you want to call it, this spiritual entity that we've created has to expand. It has to be its own entity, its own spiritual entity in the world, and it can't stay trapped in an office building anymore. Right? We're blowing the roof up, and it's not about how many people show up. It's about the consciousness we're creating and the things that we want to, like, be and do, like he said. It's just, I'm just like exploding right now. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm scared and excited at the same time. But I'm trusting the unseen. Because being scared doesn't mean you shouldn't go forward. Being scared, courage is walking through your fear and knowing you're going to always be okay. You're always going to be okay, no matter what. And I'm just so grateful right now. So what do I want to say? Ernest Holmes would tell us that the only reason we're limited is because we've not allowed the divine within us to express more completely. And I believe that's true. I believe that we really, our mentor James, Dr. James, and he'll be here in October, his theme is love only, forgive everything, and remember who you are. But the most important thing to me is to remember who we are. Because if we remember who we are, then all the other stuff's going to take care of itself. So I had this affirmation that was just I am divine. And I said it to myself, and I realized at first, it took a moment to land. I am divine. Say it to yourself. Just put your hands on, and just say it in your mind's eye. I am divine. I am divine. And just keep repeating it until you feel it. I am divine. I am divine. I am divine. I am divine. And a feeling comes over you that you can trust because it's your true self. And it doesn't matter what you've done or what you think you've done or what's happened in your life up to this point. It doesn't matter because this is a new moment and you're divine. And however you're expressing as that. And sometimes we just don't always remember it. So for me, trusting the unseen is remembering that and then just letting go to that and surrendering to that and then putting one foot in front of the other to manifest whatever it is I want my life to be, to live my life. It's not even about I hate that word manifest means we're just living our life to create things. We're not. We're living our life to become all that we can become and to remember I am divine no matter what. Even when we're sick, I am divine. I am divine. There's a prayer for the sick that Ernest Holmes uses. It says, right where the pain is, God is. And if you keep saying that to yourself, God has to reveal itself within you. If you keep saying, right where it is, God is. Right where it is, God is. Because God is perfect, and that's who we are. We're perfect, amazing manifestations, but we can't necessarily see it. We have to feel it, like Patrick said. I love that exercise. We have to feel it. So my knowing this week is that we'll settle into that and remind ourselves that I am divine, no matter what we're going through. If we're in a terrible traffic jam, if we're going to the doctor and we're sitting at the edge of a table waiting for somebody to tell us something about ourselves or whatever, that we'll just remember that we're divine and that because we're divine, we don't need to worry about any of that. We just need to worry about what's right here and live it. So I'm so grateful right now. I'm so grateful. So thank you. And yeah, I hope you'll stay for the meeting because we have lots of beautiful things planned for our future. But it's starting right here and right now. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I trust the unseen. I trust the unseen, and so it is. Yeah.